When I came across the concept of reading journals on YouTube, I knew it was a great idea and I had to start one for myself. The idea of just creating an art page with space for thoughts and quotes is just my cup of tea, since I love doing low commitment art, and it's also actually one of the reasons that I like bullet journaling. I already have a book spread in my regular bullet journal where I fill in all of my reads as well as rating them with a color code system, but this year I wanted some more space to document each book in a more detailed manner, and also I was very excited for the opportunity of creating fan art for the books I read. So come with me as I set up a very simple scrapbook style journal, and frankly the first reading journal I have set up ever. And I chose a quote from Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice to set the tone. And to all this, she must yet add something more substantial in the improvement of her mind by extensive reading. I feel like this is just such a beautiful way of expressing the need to set up a a reading journal like this. And it's also going to hopefully keep me inspired to keep reading a lot this year. For my theme, I chose a vintage, cozy aesthetic, so I went online and I just downloaded some random images and art that would fit the style, which I then glued into my journal. That, together with some gold accents like gold pen and washi tape, will be the layout for most pages. It's really simple and there's really no wrong way to go about it. I've seen a great dark academia style scrapbook technique on Plant-Based Bride, and I've actually drawn a lot of inspiration from her book's journal setup, so I will link her video down below for reference, and you will probably notice that I copied quite a lot from her. The next page is a reading goals spread, where I just set down a certain minimum of books I want to read from different categories and genres this year, and I'm not pushing myself too far just because I don't want there to be any pressure to read things that I don't want to, so I went with relatively small numbers. This will also depend on your schedule and just the general amount of books that you typically read. So for instance, I want to read some historical fiction and some biographies, some really thick books with more than 500 pages. All of this I just put down as a category with a certain amount of boxes to check off as I get through them. I also set up an overall book tracker, reading tracker, where I just get to cross off a book once I've read it. So at the end of the year I can see at a glance how many books I've actually read. So I set up this very simple spread opposite. And then next spread is going to be 24 books for 2024. This is a really cute idea, and again, I got this out of a video by Plant-Based Bride, where she did that for a previous year, and I just thought it was a cute idea to put down certain books that are on my wish list for 2024, and I get to put a little star rating beneath each one as I read it. I'm really curious also to see at the end of the year how many of these I actually read. So as you can see, I just printed a miniature version of each cover and stuck that in here to create a sort of tile layout for my books. I've also created a series tracker, so if I read some book series this year, I can then cross off how many books of that series I actually read. I'm pretty certain that for most of them I will probably read all books in them. All the books of the series, just because if you don't, that takes the fun away, doesn't it? Also a must-have for a reading journal setup is a to be read page. So here you can just jot down any unread books you still have in your shelves. I honestly don't have that many, except that I borrowed a pile from the library just a few days ago, so I put all of those on there as well. And also you can put down any random books you come across online that you want to read eventually. Another really cool spread idea is first lines. So whichever book you pick up, you just write down the first lines on this spread. Then next we come into the actual book spreads. So as you can see, I've already started to fill in some reads. Even though this is a 2024 journal setup, I started to fill in the first couple books that I read in the end of 2023. Because why not? I didn't want to wait till the new year before I actually start using it. although I did not cross off any of my book goals just yet, because I will start using the trackers in the new year as they are intended. And I'm still playing around to find a good layout for this, but obviously I'll also stick in a miniature cover and as well as some ratings, and I'm also going to put down how long it took me to read the book. And obviously each book is going to be different. For some you might just want to use half a page, for others you might need a page or even a full double page spread, but most importantly there's no right or wrong way, so feel free to journal whichever way feels right to you. Anyway, this is it for my very simple reading journal setup. I hope all of you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel. This is certainly not the last video of this kind I will be publishing. So if you want to follow my reading journaling journey with me, please stick around.